Welcome to HumanityWins.net. Please read the important disclaimer on your screen. All of the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be taken as medical or legal advice. Please contact your doctor or lawyer if you require such advice. Thank you. The show starts right now. Hello, welcome to Change is Near. This is episode 25 from March 28th of the year 2022. Today is a Monday. Today's episode is about the Anunnaki and planet Nibiru. I'm not gonna talk much on this one to try to make it short because I'm gonna present to you a 7 minute and 40-second video that I found in the internet that, in my opinion, explains perfectly at least the mainstream notion about the Anunnaki and planet Nibiru. So the Anunnaki were basically the inhabitants of planet Nibiru. And planet Nibiru, even in mainstream science or certainly in alternative media, it's the source of many channels, even on YouTube, but on many platforms, referenced also as Planet X. And you see that the fascination with this planet, the fascination with this subject comes from the notion that this planet is arriving close to Earth soon and is going to cause what is known as an ELE, or an extinction level event. Because of the gravitational pull this planet will create on Earth, of course, we will have all sorts of issues, probably a pole shift. The north and south pole will invert, and there will be problems with the ice caps melting, and that creating a whole, the level of the seas increasing rapidly, and of course a lot of destruction and death. There was a moment around 8 years ago, that I did believe this was going to happen. I didn't know the timeline, but it kept changing around the year 2020, 2025, etc. There's also the notion that everything that is going on, it's a school of thought. Some people truly believe that. It's not me, actually. I don't resonate with that at this time. I did resonate with that maybe 4 or 5 years ago. There's a school of thought that everything that is going on right now with the injection and, and the fake war and everything that is going right now, the last 3 years especially, has to do with the fact that planet Nibiru is coming very soon and they want to depopulate the Earth. So when it's here, they could go back to their underground bases and don't have any issues with population creating problems for them when they migrate to their underground bases and ride out the period the Earth will be affected by this extinction level event. Something similar to the movie Greenland, a lot of apocalyptic movies that there's this extinction level event and and society starts again real small, and there's this group of people that go underground for years and then come back when the Earth is ready to have life again. That doesn't resonate with me at all anymore. Okay, I think that was just a story. I mean, I do believe the planet Nibiru is real, and I do believe the Anunnaki are real. I also believe the planet Nibiru has been here many times in history, and it might have created some issues and some rising in sea levels and all that, but at the end, humanity and the world was able to continue. So is that going to be the case? First of all, I don't know if it's even coming soon, to be honest with you. These dates keep changing, and they say 2025, 2030, 2040. Who knows? It apparently has an orbit of 3,600 years, and so who knows? I don't want to scare you with that because even if it was true, can you do something about it? No, so don't be scared about that. I'm going to present to you a over 7 minute video. I know it's long, but I couldn't cut it. I mean, I couldn't cut anything out of it because it's just such a concentrated, very well made video about the whole concept of the Anunnaki and related to planet Nibiru and their exploitation of gold and their exploitation of humanity as well, which I do believe they are part of the civilizations and species, alien species, having a stronghold on Earth right now. Okay, so I'm going to present the video. It's very long. I suggest you keep going and watch it. I'm going to include the link on the show notes because, again, this is not my work, and even if it's basically the complete video, you might want to go into that channel and check some of their work because really this was very well made. Okay, so here we go. I'm sorry about that.
The history of the first civilizations is full of great events and mysteries that arouse the curiosity of many. Many wonder how it was possible for human beings to evolve so rapidly compared to other species that had already existed on our planet. Ancient peoples, through their religions, have tried to offer answers about the creation of the world and the odd creative capacity of humanity. Perhaps the answer to this dilemma can be found in the text written by what was the first organized civilization in history, the Sumerians. The Sumerian civilization emerged in Mesopotamia around 4500 BC. Over time, it was responsible for building large cities and creating the first system of writing, known as cuneiform writing, on clay tablets. During archaeological excavations in 1849 in Iraq, 14 clay tablets with Sumerian writings were found. The translation of the text revealed one of the most fantastic stories of all time, the story of the Anunnaki gods. According to the Sumerian manuscripts, there is a planet at the ends of the solar system called Nibiru. Every 3,600 years, it enters an orbit close to the planet Earth. Nibiru was the home planet of the Anunnaki, who were experiencing difficulties because the climate and atmosphere of the planet were changing rapidly, making it difficult to produce food and therefore to survive. It was necessary to use advanced methods of technology, alchemy, and magic to reverse this situation. To do so, a large amount of gold was needed, since this metal has purifying properties capable of resisting even cosmic radiation. However, gold was a rare resource in Nibiru, and without other alternatives, the Anunnaki used their advanced technology and sent ships into space in search of the precious golden metal. After a long and tiring search, they arrived on planet Earth about 445,000 years ago, where they were the first astronauts to cross space and colonize another planet. The planet Earth was inhabited only by wild animals such as mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, and some apes. The Anunnaki settled in Mesopotamia and built a wonderful city called Eridu. In this city, there was a splendorous garden full of fruit trees and animals. The garden created by the Anunnaki was named Eden, and the first favorite place of the astronaut gods. Shortly after, gold extraction began in underground mines. To do the heavy tasks, they brought with them slaves from another alien race, the Igigi. After years of forced labor and humiliation, the Igigi rebelled against the Anunnaki, giving rise to the first war on Earth. The Igigi were defeated and decimated. The Anunnaki needed new workers. The solution was to create a new race of intelligent beings, able to work, but more harmless than the Igigi. The Anunnaki combined their genes with the ancestors of human beings, creating a hybrid and submissive race at their command. This genetic fusion did not go very well at first. Strange beings came to life, like the Nephilim giants, which, although extraordinarily strong, were devoid of intelligence and self-control. The first man to emerge from this successful genetic combination was named Adamu. Compared to human beings, the Anunnaki were incredibly tall and strong, and their weapons would be more than enough to control another possible rebellion. Over time, humans developed the ability to speak and learn from the Anunnaki, to take care of plantations and build houses made of clay and stone. The Anunnaki came to like human beings. They even allowed them to live in their city and attend the sacred garden, but gave explicit orders not to reproduce too much. Against the will of the gods, human beings began to procreate quickly, which caused overpopulation in the city. Many people were expelled from Eden and Eridu, and condemned to live in exile in wildlands. After a few millennia, the planet Nibiru approached the Earth again. Nibiru's gravitational field was so strong that it adversely affected the Earth's natural conditions. There was an increase in the temperature of the planet, and the glaciers melted, rapidly raising the level of the oceans and causing constant rain. A great flood ravaged the Earth, and the city of Eridu was doomed to submerge. To save their creation, the Anunnaki created large boats that floated for days to normal water level. In this part, it is not clear whether the boats floated on the water or whether the boats were ships hovering in the sky. After their city was destroyed, the Anunnaki decided to return to Nibiru. But before they left, they gave human beings knowledge of architecture, mathematics, music, and writing. They also taught them how to establish a monarchy system, where some leaders kept their bloodline inherited for the Anunnaki pure, with the right to command others. They also ordered the construction of temples known as ziggurats, aligned with the constellations. These would one day guide the Anunnaki back to Earth. The Sumerian texts do not determine how many Anunnaki there are, but they quote some as the main ones. The most powerful deity in Sumerian mythology was An, or Anu, according to Akkadian calligraphy. Anu was the personification of heaven and possessed infinite wisdom. He was the oldest and most venerable of the gods, with sanctuaries in almost all Sumerian cities. The goddess Ki represented the earth and Anu's wife. The union between Anu and Ki gave birth to Anunnaki, a word that can be translated as children of heaven and earth. The first Anunnaki was Enlil, lord of the air, winds, storms, and responsible for keeping heaven and earth at a safe distance. Enki was the mighty god of the oceans and rivers, the patron of the city of Eridu. Later, his cult reached other peoples such as the Canaanites, Hittites, and Horites. The moon also had a ruler, Nana, worshipped as a god of wisdom and curiosity, responsible for teaching scientific and astronomical concepts to human beings. The god Utu was the personification of the sun and defender of justice, truth, and morality. Utu traveled through the heavens in his sacred carriage, emitting a brilliance capable of illuminating the world. The goddess Inanna was Utu's twin sister and goddess of fertility, war, and political power, also called the Heavenly Queen. She was one of the most cultured goddesses of Mesopotamia, adopted by Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians under the name of Ishtar. The cult of the Anunnaki was shared by many Mesopotamian peoples, adding new stories and divinities with the advancement of time, but always maintaining a very detailed essence. The history of the Anunnaki, written by the Sumerians, is full of scientific and astronomical references, very advanced for the time in which they were written. The knowledge is still one of the greatest mysteries of humanity.
Okay, so I told you it was long. Sorry about the mix-up when the video started. And you see, this video is like 88 minutes long, and I couldn't honestly take out anything because it's just a great explanation of the usual story, or it's not mainstream, but you know, the story that most believe about the Anunnaki and Planet Nibiru, Planet X. You see, I don't know if you heard in the video, it says 445,000 years ago. So that on its own goes beyond the known history of mankind, which is like 10 to 20,000, according to scientific researches and, you know, carbon-14 analysis of bones or fossils or whatever they find. Okay, so in there we already have a difference of opinion. What I think is the Anunnaki are part of this group of species that have a stronghold on Earth. And just by listening to the video, and if you think, okay, that's the real story of what happened, I mean, they came here to exploit the gold of the Earth that could have held the inhabitants of Earth, because gold is a very special material in the universe, okay? It's very special. So what they did is they stole most of it for their own purposes. So you see, they're not respecting the laws of balance, because that Earth belonged to the Earth and its inhabitants, and they took it for them. So we have a hierarchy then, we have levels, we have a lesser being, an upper being, we have several things that just don't resonate with me. And so I'm going to go through the list. First of all, if you're really interested in this subject, I always suggest books, and if you can, get hard copies. I don't know why it's much better the hard copy than the electronic copy. I know it's more convenient, the electronic copy, but for some reason for me it resonates much more to have a hard copy. And if you take a trip or a long flight or whatever, it's just wonderful to have a book, a real book in there, and not a tablet and reading a screen, LED screen and everything. So the book is The Anunnaki of Nibiru, Mankind's Forgotten Creators, Enslavers, Destroyers, Saviors, and Hidden Architects of the New World Order by Gerald Clark. And you can find it in the usual place that starts with an A, that now sells everything. So I'm not going to even mention the name. So my feelings about the Anunnaki and Planet Nibiru, Planet X, is they're not malevolent. Why? They came here, they maybe teach us some tricks, but they're part of the stronghold, and they're part of the grooming of the necessity of worshipping hierarchies and suppression of humanity. You see, I don't agree with the story of the video completely. I'm going to go through the points. So they're non-malevolent, and the story of the video kind of left that to your decision. I mean, it didn't seem like they declared that they were really for nefarious reasons here on Earth, evil reasons. They find other planets to take advantage of resources, particularly gold. So they are parasitic in nature. I wanted to include that, but I didn't have any more space, so I'm just going to say parasitic and opportunistic. Okay? So they have their necessities, and they go and destroy other things or exploit other things to satisfy their necessities. That's parasitic, opportunistic. That's a violation of the law of non-interference, and that's a violation of the law of balance and love in the universe. Okay? Okay, you need gold, that's fine. Don't go try to find another solution. There was maybe another solution. but they went to other planets and exploit them to solve their own issues. That's parasitic. They stole most of the Earth's gold. Whatever they left, they implemented this school of thought that gold was, very valuable, so it was not readily available. There was so little gold in the earth, which is not true. There was a lot of gold, but they stole it. So everything you know about gold, jewelry, a beacon of value, when everyone is saying to invest in gold, if you're going to invest in gold, invest in real gold, something you touch with your hands. This paper gold contracts is not real gold, okay? So there's very little gold left in the earth, and maybe even if you're touching it, it's some kind of mixture or fake, and it's not even real gold. So it's a very difficult investment. But gold has a lot of properties, and you know what has a lot of properties, particularly medicinal properties? Silver. Look into colloidal silver, and silver, basically colloidal silver can kill most infections, if not all. It's anti-parasites, anti-mold, antivirus, and antibiotic, so antibacterial. So you see, if you're looking into that and you're into supplements and natural ways, look into colloidal silver. Actually, the Hell Ranger on BrightonStore.com, I think it is, sells colloidal silver if you want to look into that. So, by the way, I'm not making promotion for anyone. It's just I just saw an ad, so I know he sells that. But you can find it online for sure. So you see, they need gold for their atmosphere purification systems and for black goo. That video didn't touch the subject of black goo, but you see, I totally believe there are the group of species that are non-malevolent, the minority in the universe, that they use black goo for their nefarious purposes. So you see their evil purposes. So one thing I know, I agree with the mainstream story about Nibiru and the Anunnakis. They had a problem with their atmosphere. It was polluted because you see they're so parasitic, they're so opportunistic, they didn't care about their own planet, so they basically destroyed it, and then they had to look for the solution elsewhere, and gold provided that fuel, that purification system. So they had to go look for gold elsewhere. They finished their own gold that they didn't have much to start with. They worship hierarchies. That's very clear from the video, and I agree with that entirety, and suppressive societies. You see the image of the big Anunnaki trying to install fear and hate into the human being that is half its size. So that tells you everything about them. I already said they're parasitic and oppressive in nature. Okay, so here I have a difference of opinion. The story says basically human beings, biological beings, were created by the Anunnakis because they needed slaves, let's say like that, slaves for the exploitation of gold and other resources, see, for the construction of their cities and all that. So they actually created humans. That's the main story about the Anunnakis. I disagree. We were created before that. They bred with humans and created hybrids that had a hierarchy level higher than humans. I don't know if that makes sense. So they were like, humans were third-class citizens, hybrids were second-class citizens, and the Anunnakis were first-class citizens. So what happened when they left is, I think these hybrids were left behind, and probably some real Anunnakis, and it's some of the base of the people controlling the earth right now, okay? I hope that makes sense. So their bloodlines and whatever you hear as the Illuminati and Freemasons and all that, I think is related to the Anunnaki and other species and AI and the gray aliens, and there's a whole mixture of, this it's imagine there are political parties, and it's the left, the right, the center, whatever. But they're all in control, and they separated the world, and they all have different purposes. But they're part of the issue, and actually the book touches on that they basically say the Anunnakis is the New World Order and the World Economic Forum or whatever. And you see, so that's where they're going. Very difficult subjects to follow. I understand half myself, so I'm going with the feeling here. It's just I don't think it's only the Anunnakis controlling the earth, or they have some kind of partnership with other non-benevolent alien civilizations that come here to exploit us in some other ways, including the fear, and genetically and resources and all that. So already says part of the group of the species that dominate the earth. And the last 2 points are about Planet Nibiru. Planet Nibiru has also become Planet X because, before a few years ago, there were not 8 planets in the solar system, there were 9. Pluto was included as a 9th planet. Then it said it was too small to become to be considered a planet, so they reduced that to 8 planets in the solar system. I think that was like 20 years ago. So actually, planet X comes from the Roman number X, which is 10, and it's like the 10th planet in the solar system, and apparently has an orbit beyond Pluto. And it's not a perfectly elliptical orbit like the other planets. It's irregular, you see. That's why it gets very close to the Earth. If it was concentric like the other orbits of the other planets, it will never be close to Earth. It will always be beyond Pluto. You see, it's just making circles on the sun. There's also this notion that planet X or Nibiru has its own star similar to the sun, and it's called the Black Sun. And there are even songs about the Black Sun, and and the little brother of the real sun. Again, you might want to check the book or other videos about that. If I start talking about that, we're going to be here for an hour. So if there's something that there's interest for you about the Black Sun, you might want to research it, but it's basically like a sun in another dimension, and it's beyond our capabilities to see it. That's why it's invisible to us. So I wanted to touch about Nibiru's ELE, or extinction level event. That's what fuels, I think, 95% of the interest on Planet X and Nibiru, on especially alternative channels that really they have made a huge following just talking about Planet X, and it's coming and it's coming and it's coming. Okay, I used to follow a guy that I couldn't find. I wanted to touch his channel again and maybe present a video from him. It was WSO. Wormwood, because Nibiru was also referred as the Wormwood System. Wormwood System Observation, WSO. He had a website, I think it was wsolive.com. Greg Olson, the name. And I couldn't find anything about him. He has, I don't know what happened to him. I hope he's fine. He seemed like a generally nice guy. He had a lot of videos about apparent sightings of Nibiru and 2 suns in the sky and this stuff. I mean, I was really into that like 5, 6, 7 years ago. Honestly, that doesn't resonate with me anymore. If there's going to be an extinction level event, I don't think they're doing what they're doing as far as the jab and all that to just reduce population before the extinction level event. I mean, they could kill us all overnight. And again, I don't believe in that. I believe in change. I'm talking biological death. They could kill all humanity in overnight. Just say it was a cosmic event from the sun, a sun, flare or whatever. And I'm sorry. And if there were any survivors, you're saying, I'm sorry. 99% of humanity died because of this event we were not prepared for. So I don't think they need to go through all this hassle for them just to kill humans slowly. There's another reason. So Nibiru's extinction level event, I don't think it's near. I don't think it's even going to happen. And there's one thing I couldn't fit. It has been here many times, and there are some documented story has created some issues. Okay, levels of sea rising and all that. Yes, okay. But you see, humanity was never as aware, as vibrating in love, as higher in vibration like it's today, March 28th of the year 2022. Never. I'm sure of that. Completely sure. That's an absolute truth to me. Never, never, never. You see, there's so much love and wisdom coming from the universe to tap into our own love and wisdom we have inside us. That was not possible 3,600 years ago or 7,200 years ago, and all the other apparent visitations of planet Nibiru. So that can morph and protect the Earth like a shield, you see. And so the extinction level event will be either very light or even non-existent. And maybe it already happened and you didn't even notice, because there were a lot of sightings 4 or 5 years ago that apparently through some way, or maybe, morphing the wavelength of light, that I think planet Nibiru maybe sometimes was not as invisible as it always is. But my last point is that Nibiru is not visible to the human eye always. I think some of the videos we have seen, I don't know what they are, or I do open myself to the possibility that they were actually Nibiru through some kind of temporary transformation visible to the human eye, or that video camera that filmed it in the moment. Because video cameras do have the capability to go beyond the normal capabilities of the human eye, which is 380 to 700 nanometers if in light wavelength. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm kind of running out of subjects, so I might have to pause or slow down the rate of videos from daily to once every 2 days, 3 days. So if you have any subjects you might want me to talk about, again, remember, these are my feelings. This is what vibrates with me. I do some little research on each subject just to bring back memories. Because, for example, I did a lot of knowledge-based research and read many books about Nibiru and the Anunnaki like 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So, of course, like it happens to you, it happens to me. I'm a regular, normal guy. That some of that knowledge just goes away, you know. So I do refresh my memories a little bit on every subject, so it happens. And I wanted to make a little correction. I've been talking about a song called Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, just saying that humanity, in a way, we just want to have fun, and it's good that we enjoy this reality as fun and as beautiful, and, you know, smiling and, you know, being happy. But I always said the song was from Madonna, and I apologize about that. The song is about Cyndi Lauper, or from Cyndi Lauper, and I remember that last night. So you see, those are the kind of factual mistakes I can make. Sorry about that. It's Cyndi Lauper. Girls just want to have fun, and it's like a silly analogy that we just want to relax and have fun, and it's something we need to do in this reality. Okay, so please relax. If Nibiru is coming, Nibiru is coming. There's nothing you can do about that. So you want to prep, that's fine. But, you know, at the end, I think prepping is something you have to has to vibrate with you. So if it's not vibrating with you, then I think you're okay. Okay. So as always, please be sure to check the guys from Wake in the Future, and I include the email if you want to send me an email or just post a comment. All right. Thank you very much. Have a very nice. We want you on the show. Send me an email to hey@humanitywins.net. To schedule an interview. Help me out by making the show more interesting, fun, and knowledgeable by having you on and giving our viewers the opportunity to learn from you. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover yourself. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and guidance. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover yourself? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to yourself and the universe. Request to be connected and ask, who am I? Where do I come from? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about those realities start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering yourself equals to breaking your matrix. Your self-imposed limits will fall, and you will be ready to serve humanity and help break this spell and deception on us. But you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will start a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, loss, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only the evildoers and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Please relax and enjoy life. When everyone breaks their own matrix, humanity through our community consciousness will break the final spell. The new world will start and everything will gradually fall. Governments, hierarchies, and the medical and financial system will go from scarcity to abundance for all. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this episode. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@humanitywins.net. Please be sure to check out our friends from Wake in the Future and their awaken-attire.com shop. They gave me my first opportunity to speak about this, and I will be forever grateful. Link to their channel and shop on the show notes. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.humanitywins.net. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.